Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Hello, hello. It's FriYay. Who else is getting their hot milk mix on? It's time. It's time. Cheers. Here's to FriYay. Who's in the house? Come on out. There's my girl, Catherine. Come on down, Catherine. Boy, we got some great questions today. Hi, Sarah. Happy FriYay to you. Who else is here? Sprint ready. Yes. Who else is getting ready for that sprint? I am ready to crush the living daylights out of my sprint starting on Monday. That's what I'm ready to do. Hey, Tammy. Good to see you. Come on in. We're doing it. It's FriYay. Bev is in the house. So's Doris. Hey, good deal. Hello, Denise. Good to see you. Come on in, you guys. The water's fine. I have to tell you, the last of these cups are going out. If you're collecting them, get on top of it. Do you like my bouncing cup? Isn't it so cute? Yep. You know how to get them, right? They're free if you place an order over $200 and you're stocking up, or for $100 you get it for $5. You know, that's how we roll. And Info Crusher, by the way, that is, yep. I've had too much coffee today. Can you tell? Yeah, Info Crusher is the supplement of the week. Put four in your cart, and we'll discount them for you. We'll send them to you free. All the things. You don't have to worry about anything anymore. We do all the heavy lifting. You just have to put it in your cart. SavingDinner.com/show to go get your supplement of the week. We do this and offer you massive discounts because we care about you getting your health on, getting your supplements in, and not paying retail, because I hate paying retail. Okay, here we go. Quote of the week. Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. Cosmic 2x4, isn't it? You know, it's true. Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. And if you are frustrated with what you got, there's a reason why behind all of that. So thank you to all of you who just came in. Thanks so much for joining me today. I love seeing you all come in here, and I love your support. I appreciate you. You are a part of my community, and I do not. Lizzie used her sleep ease last night. This is unbelievable. I will not ever be without this. Sleep ease is our sleep supplement, and in it you can find out about it in the store, but it'll tell you all about it and why it is so spectacularly great. You know, usually with insomnia, we have to hit it from different angles, and there's all kinds of different types of insomnia, by the way. It's not just the inability to go to sleep. Lots of different things there. So just talking about it because I can. So what else do we have going on? Well, finally, the decaf is in the shop. Did you see that? Yep, we've got our decaf. Great stuff. I will tell you, it is not as strong and potent as our regular caffeine, but guess what? You can mess with that by using 2 bags. I did that yesterday and it was really good. So that's awesome. Anyway, what else do I have to tell you today? We have a bunch of great questions. I can't wait to answer them all for you, and I hope that this is going to help you with everything, because, you know, let me just tell you something. When we know better, we can do better. I mean, this is a quote from our dear friend, Maya Angelou, who we all admire. I mean, if you know her life story, she's pretty spectacular. But anyway, I really love that. I love that we can do better. And part of this whole thing is when we feel like we have an education and we understand what's going on, then we know what to do next. Don't you? I don't like feeling tenuous all the time. I don't like feeling like I just don't know what to do next. This is what education does. It gives us that stability. It gives us the confidence to move forward, and it helps us to not feel quite so uneven and, you know, a little wonky. Yeah, wonky's a word. So what else do we have to tell you? Oh, we do have Christmas menus for you. Anyone want one? We have some really good Christmas menus for you. You can find it at savingdinner.com/Christmas. They're all lined up for you. They're all lined up for you. And we have another one coming that Caroline's working on with a lamb roast and all kinds of stuff. And we'll be getting that to you as well. We'll add it on to this one, but definitely check it out. You know, we put the timeline together, the recipes, the shopping list, because we want to support you. We also have some good, I have the Christmas Eve cinnamon rolls somewhere. I don't know. It's probably, if you look on Saving Dinner, you'll find the blog post on that. That's probably about 20 years old, and everybody has used that. We used to use that all the time. So the other thing that we have going on, listen, and this is great stuff, is that we have the gift certificates are available. And I love gift certificates because, you know, they're difficult, right? I love giving my kids gift certificates. We do it all the time. But then you always know that they're getting exactly what they want. I don't think of them as impersonal. I think of them as pretty personal. So check it out. Go to savingdinner.com/gift, and you'll see all the gift certificates that are there. Our Amber designed them, and they're darling. You can print them out in full color, and you'll feel like you're giving your family something cool. And here's a hint. Do it on a cardstock and cut it out, and it'll be even cuter. Am I right? Come on. I know how to do things. I know how to get crafty. So there you go. Also, if you like the notes, and a lot of you are enjoying our notes, but we have notes for all of our shows. They're always printed the next day in our newsletter. All you have to do is sign up for our newsletter. If you go to savingdinner.com, you can do that there. How do you like that? And what else do we have? We are starting the sprint on Monday. If you want to watch how to crush the sprint, savingdinner.com/sprint, and you'll also get all your printouts. So you can get the guide, you can get the schedule for what we're doing, you can get the recipes, all kinds of stuff there, all free. Just savingdinner.com/sprint. And my suggestion is that you watch the webinar that's there as well. You don't have to, but strong suggestion that you do, just so you feel confident. You know, confidence is everything. Confidence is everything. And I think I told you about everything that we have going on. We have a lot of questions, so because we do, I want to get right to them. And I also want to remind you, if you want to have your questions answered, all you have to do is send them in to support@savingdinner.com. And question for Leanne on Friday, right there in the subject line, we will get to it. And every single Friday, I'm here, same bat time, same bat channel, doing the thing. Great, good stuff. You ready? Let's get right to it. This is from our friend Echo, and she said, I have a question. I love taking Epsom salt baths. You often mention them and their benefits. I'm 60 years old and diagnosed last year with type 2 diabetes. My skin has become more sensitive as I have aged. Even though I shower and rinse immediately following an Epsom salt bath and always lotion up, I find that afterwards I have unusually itchy skin. Do you have any tips on how I can avoid this so I can continue to enjoy the benefits of an Epsom salt bath? Is there something I can add to the bath water? A couple of ideas that I have. You can also get just a magnesium bath. It could be something about the Epsom salts that's bothering. It could be the salt portion of it, but you can get Epsom salt or magnesium flakes and just try that bath instead. It could be the salt that's causing itching. The other thing that I would do is, you know, when we lotion up afterwards, let's do something first that's a protective and antimicrobial, antibacterial, and super healing, rich with caprylic acid, which helps to heal skin tissues, and that is use some coconut oil. Use some coconut oil, get it just for the bathroom, a good jar of virgin coconut oil and lather that all up over your skin and let it soak in for a minute, then put lotion over the top. That's what I would suggest. And also, diabetic skin is a little bit different than non-diabetic skin in that it gets a little thinner, and our skin gets thinner anyway as we get older. I would also do an internal thing with your body, and that would be to be taking in collagen on a daily basis. We have our perfect paleo protein for that, and doing bone broth. What I have noticed as I have 2 years on you, and as I have aged, I have noticed that it's really helped with the thickness and the hardiness, if you will, of my skin. Collagen is something that is the structural foundation for all of our skin, our bones, our tendons, all of the things. And we need that in place to help our bodies. As a matter of fact, in our bones, we have more collagen in our bones than we even have calcium, because structurally we need that. That's what it is. Collagen is a structural protein. And because we eat differently than we used to. We used to eat all the time. We'd sit down and eat a chicken, for example. We'd be eating the cartilage, snapping the bones, sucking out the marrow. That's where all the collagen is. Now we're doing boneless, skinless breasts of chicken. There's no collagen in that. There's still protein, but there's no collagen. And so 97% of the population is collagen deficient. So if we can add that back in, that's going to really help our bodies. It's going to help with the structural integrity of our skin. That's not to say you won't still be itchy, but I think it will help build a tougher skin. And we need that. We don't want you getting thin tissue types, skin that's ripping and tearing and you're bleeding. My mother-in-law was like that, and her skin was just horrible. She was bandaged all the time and all of that. Basically, that started with her in her late 60s, early 70s, and she lived to be about, I think, 85, 86. And her skin was a mess, but she never did anything to support it. So we need to do that. Also, beauty support, wherever that is. My beauty support is something that I take on the daily basis right here. This supports you building your own collagen. So when we add all of this stuff in, you're going to get a better skin texture. You're going to get better skin. You'll get hair growth too, if you remember what our friend Wendy told us about when she shared her testimonial and how it helped her to grow skin. So when we have, when we're looking at this, we just don't dismiss it and just say, oh, it's aging or it's the diabetes or whatever. It's like, what do we do in order to kind of fix this problem? And I think that will help you out a lot. All right, and this next one is from Mimi. Hi, Mimi. I hope you're here. This is a really good question. How do you maintain a natural, healthy ketosis? And how do you get enough good omega fat in your daily eating habits? I seem to be very low in omega fat and have been eating healthy fats and foods to up the amount of omegas in my diet. Do you have any suggestions? This is a really good question, by the way. And yes, I do have suggestions, and I very much on point suggestions, because here's the thing that you have to understand. I mean, there's several things that we have to put into this equation. First of all, our bodies don't manufacture omega-3 fatty acids. They don't. We need to eat them. That's how we get them. How do we do that? Well, we need to make sure that we're eating a lot of fatty fish is the best possible place to get that. We'll get a little bit from like chia seeds and a little flax and what have you, but plant-based stuff doesn't have a whole lot of omega-3 fatty acid. Fish does, like salmon, like mackerel, which I'm not really loving mackerel so much because of the mercury in it, but also sardines, very low because it's a tiny fish. Remember, the bigger the fish, the more mercury it's apt to have. So those big game fish, swordfish, tuna, that kind of stuff, you're going to get a lot of mercury in. The stuff that's small and tiny, not so much. So that's a good thing for you. I would look for wild salmons in the can, wild sardines in the can that are packed with virgin olive oil. Wild Planet is my best one, and I'm telling you, they are so fantastic. Really good source. Now, all of that said, and then same with wild salmon, not farm-raised salmon, not the salmon that they have to put the coloring in. It needs to be wild salmon. And remember, the darker the color, the more krill they've been eating, because salmon is both freshwater and saltwater. right? So we want to make sure that we're getting all those omega-3 fatty acids in. Krill oil is, just huge. So here's what you need to do, okay? Here's what needs to happen. You need to be also taking some supplements. I am a really firm believer in supplements because of this. First of all, when we're eating a good, healthy diet, we're getting trace amounts of these different things in, which is fantastic. But most of us are coming at it from a deficit because we just haven't had these things in. And also, nature is not providing us with the amounts that used to be in the fish and the produce and everything else that we're eating. As a matter of fact, a tomato has like 80% less vitamin C than it had back in the 1950s, simply because of agricultural practices when it's picked, etc. But we need to know these things, right? We need to know all of these things. So how do we bring this back in? Well, we look at it, where's the deficit? Then we tackle it with a supplement. I love our BioOmega-3X. This is a dry omega-3 fatty acid. So first of all, two things. One, it doesn't go rancid, which is fantastic because there's a bunch of them out there that are rancid. You can't tell. They also fish burp up, and they're completely disgusting. The little greasy oils. You take off the container and you smell it and you just feel like, oh, I'm going to throw up. I mean, it's that bad. It smells like stinky old fish. This is fish burpless. It's good stuff. It's, like I said, it's made with a dry omega-3 fatty acid, meaning you're not going to get sick. So this stuff is like excellent. I take it absolutely every single day. And it's also good for your brain. It's also good for fat metabolism, and on and on and on it goes. It's good for your heart. There's just so much to be seen and loved about a good BioOmega, a good fish oil. But that said, that doesn't mean you stop eating it either. You make sure that it's in your diet. We eat salmon and I eat sardines like once a week or whatever. We still eat it all week long, but we're also adding this in. Another thing that I do for support for all of that is back to beauty. Beauty support's like universal. It just helps to support all of that. So these are the things that you need to be doing to get your stores back up. A lot of us, like I said, are working off of deficits, maybe because we think that our healthy diet should be enough, and that's a big fat myth. That's an old myth that you'll see out there all the time. People saying, oh, well, if you're eating a good healthy diet, then you're going to be just fine. Not true. Agricultural practices have changed. All kinds of things have changed. Our stress levels have changed. We need to make sure that we're girded up. This is more support, and it's a very good way to get that in. So that's my strong suggestion. Make sure you got the chia seeds in there. Put the chia seeds in your smoothie every single day. Make sure you're getting the collagen, and all of these things are going to help with getting those omega-3 fatty acids up. How do you maintain a natural ongoing ketosis? Here's the thing that you're going to love. It's a crapshoot, because there are some of us who it's just real simple. Boom, take out the carbs, boom, we're in ketosis, we stay there. There are other people who are, boom, take out the carbs, and what's going on, and how come I can't get into ketosis? Here's the thing we need to understand is that glycogen is, when we have depleted our bodies of glycogen, which is what is manufactured from all the carbs that we eat. It's basically, how our bodies, store energy. When we change over from being a sugar burner, which is the glycogen, to being a fat burner, which is ketosis, we have to get it out of the body. So first things first is, what we've eaten and what we've digested. Then the next thing is what we've stored. And what we've stored is what's in the liver. That's the glycogen that's in the liver. And then it's in the tissues. And then it's also in the other organs. And depending on where you are, depending on how you metabolize sugar and how where you've been in, on a whole trajectory of this, if you have low naturally occurring blood sugar, if your insulin levels are low, if that's where you are, your age, all of this plays into it. But to get into a natural ketosis at all times is, because here's the thing, as you are in ketosis, You will go in and out of ketosis for no specific reason. As a matter of fact, people who have done these blood sugar monitors, you know, they like tape them right here on their body. It's a continuous thing that your blood is constantly being measured, and it's on your phone and you can see what it is. They've seen people's blood sugar levels just spike up for whatever reason. Why is that? They don't have an answer to that. But what we do know is if you do deplete the glycogen, and furthermore, if you are getting your glycagon up, which means that's the thing that's present when insulin is not. So one of the things you can do is exercise, do some intermittent fasting, and just really kind of keep tabs on how you're feeling. Your stomach should, you know, your whole body is going to respond to an intermittent fast. The other thing, your pee is going to smell, are you ready? We're going to talk pee. Your pee could smell like nail polish remover. That's a sign of ketosis. And the other thing is that your breath might be a little stinky, your body odor might be a little funny or a little off. This is what happens with the process of ketosis. So to keep it, just keep going and not getting like lost in the weeds and into the details, like is it going up or is it going down? Just keep your carbohydrates low and keep your eating in as small a window as you can. Do an intermittent fast for at least 12 hours, preferably up to 16 to 18 hours. That would mean that you skip breakfast if it's right for you, if you aren't dependent on having a medication that you need to take with a meal or whatever, but just eat according to what your body is telling you. It's one of the biggest mistakes that we make is eating because the clock says it's 7 o'clock, so I need to eat now. You know, it's 7 a.m. Well, you're not even hungry. Well, that's how we fracture and break our hunger hormones, and that needs to get fixed and get back into place. You know, our body is always looking for an opportunity to heal itself if we give it the right materials. It is also when we're in this place of changing over from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner, there's some work that needs to go on there. And we just need to quit teasing out everything. Quit saying, hey, you know, I can do that. You know, a little potato here won't help, or pasta won't be a problem, because then you're in and out of ketosis all the time. But to maintain it and to keep it and to feel good about it, just keep those carbs low, you know, and that would probably mean anywhere from 50 grams or less of carbs a day. And remember, we're looking at net carbs, always net carbs, because fiber is something that you subtract. So if you've got a total of 40 carbs and you've had 20 grams of fiber for the day, then you can take out 20. You know, you can take it down to 20 grams. But everybody's different. It depends on where your weight loss is, your hormones, all of the things. All of these things play into how that answer is going to be answered out. But I think Mimi, that will help you out quite a bit. Okay? Next, we have our girl Lizzie. Hello, Lizzie. She says, I made a smoothie and drank it in the evening before I fasted. The results were amazing. My blood glucose was 115 when I checked in the morning. Can I make a smoothie that is good for bedtime? I don't want to rev up my metabolism so I don't sleep, which can happen. I appreciate any suggestions. Well, we don't want to be rolling around on anything at night. You know, nothing. We don't want to be rolling around on, you know, a handful of nuts. We don't want to be rolling around on a smoothie or anything. We want to have a good 3-hour window before we go to bed. Remember this, when we go to bed, our bodies go into healing mode. That's what we want. But if it has to digest a meal first, again, back to that, remember that whole hierarchy of need thing? That's what's going to happen first. So you're putting off the healing. I love to have, you know, and even if you go to bed a little bit hungry, you know, just deal with it. Don't eat before bed ever, or don't have a smoothie before bed. But if you want to, and we had this question, I believe it was last week, or, it was at the webinar that we did on Monday. And I can't remember, somebody was asking, I think it was Emily, was asking if she could have a smoothie for dinner instead. Sure, do that for dinner. But always have a 3-hour window where you're not having anything to eat. Also, get your hydration done early in the day so that you're not having to get up all night and go to the bathroom. We need to really guard our sleep. Our sleep is the most precious thing that we have. It's also when our bodies do the most work. And if you think about it, so this is one of the reasons why I always give my body, this is when I take my not my Omega 3X, what am I saying? My proactive probiotic. I take it at night because I'm figuring, there's work going on down there, and I want to give the builders and the troops the food that they need and the extra help that they need. I always think in graphic terms, like there's a bloody war going on down there. Let's send in the troops. So that's what I do with that. I take my sleepies, of course, at night, and these are the things that can help. Jen says, thank you. I had a smoothie for dessert. Bad idea. High blood sugar in the morning. Because we need our fasting time. That's why, Jen. We need our fasting time. And, if we can go 16 to 18 hours, there's this particular thing it's called autophagy. And what autophagy does is autophagy is basically metabolic cleanup. And that means that our body is all of a sudden saying, okay, I've digested, I've done all this work, and now I'm going to do a big, massive cleanup. And this is where the Pac-Man comes in and starts cleaning up all those cells that have been discarded, all of this stuff left on the, all the garbage on the floor. And this is the broom and this is the cleanup. And the other nice thing that happens with autophagy, and especially any of you who are need to lose like more than 50 pounds, more than 100 pounds, and you're just like, this is a long haul here. Great, fine. Fasting should be a part of your every single day life. You should be going 16 to 18 hours on the regular. And then maybe if it works for you and you don't have medical conditions that will harm you, and you check with your doctor and who understands what fasting is and what it does, you can go for longer periods of time on these fasts. And when you're doing this, you've got autophagy kicked in on double time. Boom, boom, boom on the metabolic cleanup. Now it's going to start going to the skin. Now it's going to take care of those skin tags. Watch what happens. The skin tags will suddenly disappear. Watch what happens to the dimples and the cellulite on your legs. Watch what happens to your stretch marks. This is part of metabolic cleanup. You get to see it in living color right on the front of you. It's really pretty darn cool. This is autophagy, and it's magical, but it only happens with extended fasts. You can't do it in 12 hours. It starts at 16 hours, goes to 18, and it basically loses steam at about, I believe, the 48-hour mark, which would be a 2-day fast. And listen, I know people get like freaked out. Oh my gosh, your body's going to starve and you're going to have all this muscle waste and all of that. Not true. Remember this hierarchy of need. Your body is always going to go for the easiest fuel first. And you know what the easiest fuel is? Whatever is stored in your liver, the glycogen. Once that's gone, it scavenges it and goes for it all over into your tissues, into your other parts of your body. And then the magic happens because it says, look, fat, yay! Because now you've gone from sugar burning to fat burning, and that's your fuel source, and your body just goes, thank you very much, chomp, 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 chomp. And there goes your belly fat, there it goes, chomp, 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 chomp. And guess what? That's why you don't feel hungry anymore. That's why you feel good, and you're losing the weight and dropping it like nobody's business. And at the same time, your skin is tightening up. Hand to God. Hand to God. And I will tell you, everybody here, if you have this, if you are this person and you are explaining and you're looking at this whole thing of like, what do I need to do? How do I need to do this? And I want to lose 100 pounds and I want to get on this. And you want to understand the magic of intermittent fasting, buy The Obesity Cure. This is Jason Fung's book. He's an MD from Canada. He's a nephrologist. And let me just tell you something. This guy is magical. He states things very boldly. He says, this is the cure for obesity. And previous to that, this is the American Diabetic Association said the only cure for obesity is this weight loss surgery. Well, you can do this. Cool. So I want everybody to read this. Now listen, Dr. Fung is a diabetes doctor, essentially. He's a kidney doctor, because this is what happens with diabetes. You know, we go into a very dark place where people start to have kidney problems and have to have dialysis and are, you know, all kinds of things going, right? And Mary Frances, yes. So no need for skin surgery after a big weight loss if you are doing it correctly. That's why I'm saying go read the book. This is not my area of I don't know absolutely every jot and tittle about intermittent fasting. I do know enough to give you a broad spectrum glance at what it does. Personally, for me, I have used it, and it has been an absolute miracle for me. And it also helps to correct hunger hormones faster. We need to start using fasting as the tool that it is. And by the way, I am not advocating for eating disorders or not eating enough or any of that stuff. No, I am not. And fasting for people who have had eating disorders in the past might be a prickly thing. I would recommend you to go see dietdoctor.com, and that's Dr. Fung's site, and he's got trained fasting counselors there. Yes, of course, you have to do, you have to pay for it and what have you, but this is how you get to understand what to do and how to do it. That's number one. The last thing I'm going to say to you is that when you're taking something on like this, it is absolutely imperative that you become an expert not only on your own body, but what it is that you're doing. If you decide that you're going to go into the intermittent fasting, don't just go with what I'm saying. Go get yourself an education. Go dive in and see and read all the scientific research that goes with it. It'll astound you, because they're seeing the absolute results that have never been there before. No results. So it's very, very important that you take a look at this, because the results that they even had any results. And if you go to the American Diabetic Association, you go to their website, it will discourage the heck out of you. You know, if you are a diabetic or insulin resistant, it's just basically letting you know there's no hope. Dr. Fung is going to give you that hope. He's going to show you what it is. It doesn't cost anything to fast. It's a very simple thing to do, and people have been doing it for a millennia or two. You know, it has been a thing that religious people have done it, and they've also done it for health. Take a look at it. Go read the book. There's also the Diabetes Cure, by the way, and I would read that one. Diabetes Cure, Obesity Cure, anything by Jason Fung. You can watch his YouTube videos. He's very down to earth, very approachable, and it's absolutely going to change the way you think about fasting, and you will see for yourself this whole thing that's coming on. Did I just get on a little soapbox? You bet I did. Alrighty, let's go to the next one. So the thing that I'm going to say to you, Lizzie, is just if you want to have a smoothie, have that for your dinner, and have it at least 3 hours before you have your meal. That'll make a big difference. Okay, this is an interesting one from Marty, and she says, please talk about nail health and what the condition of a person's nails might be an indication of. For example, if you have dry peeling nails with ridges or no half moons in the nail bed, does that mean you might be missing some vitamins, minerals, or need more water? Yes. Yes. All right, so here's what you need to know. You know, your nails, just everything has a story for us to say, I believe. If you talk to a reflexologist, they can tell you different parts of your body by your feet. And I've had somebody actually do that to me. I had my feet worked on by a reflexologist, and he said, you got a thyroid condition, don't you? Just by looking at my feet. I had an iridologist one time look at my eyes, and he said, you've got X, Y, and Z, just by looking at my eyes. I believe that our bodies are always telling the story of what is going on, and that our nails are just one more thing. Why do we have ridges in our nails? Well, that's part of aging. It's also part of perhaps not having enough collagen in our lives. It might also be an iron deficiency. It also might be that you don't have enough B12 in particular, and the B vitamins with it. So if we look at all of this and we understand that, you know, what all of this means, we can start, you know, doing a little bit better. So this is another thing that you can look at. Ridges could be an iron deficiency, B12, Bs. It could be diabetes on the horizon for you. It could be hormones out of balance, aging, eczema, zinc deficiency, especially if you have little white dots. It can mean that you need to obviously bump your protein. I would do that. And, you know, for women, bumping our protein just a little bit, not when we're sprinting, but outside of sprinting, we want to bump our protein to about an ounce or two more per meal. Just a little bit more. And I would say, you know, if you're eating 3 meals, I would do an ounce per meal. Just like that 3 ounce extra is just a little bit of what our bodies need. And, you know, the other thing is as we correct, like we're talking about, and get in sufficient nutrients that we need, what happens is over time, our appetite starts to self-correct. And all these things that we had issues with when we were, you know, jonesing for the carbs and the sugar, all goes away. Because as our nutrient levels rise, so does our satiation and our appreciation, if you will, with our appetites. I mean, we're just like, I'm good. Leptin's fixed, so is ghrelin, and the stretch receptors in your stomach are reset. Our bodies, remember this, our bodies are always looking for an opportunity to heal. We just need to give it the right materials. It's like you're asking your contractor, you know, to build a house. Well, deliver the right materials and he can do it, you know. But first of all, there's the cleaning of the lot, and then there's the laying of the foundation, and then as long as you've got good building materials there, you're gonna get a good structure. This is exactly what it is for us as well. Cracking and peeling could mean thyroid. If you feel a little tender here, we have a butterfly-like thyroid. That's what our thyroid looks like, a butterfly right here at the base of our throats. If it's tender and swollen a little bit, I watch people all the time on TV and I say, oh, she's got a thyroid issue. Oh, I can see her thyroid right through her neck. And sometimes you can. I got taught how to do this with Alan Christensen. He was like, oh, you know, people with thyroid issues. And he palpitates and feels it, you know, and that's when you find that you've got, you know, nodules and all kinds of stuff. And believe me, I know what that feels like. Even though I don't have nodules anymore and mine's back to normal, it's still sensitive. I can't wear, you know, putting any kind of pressure or anything on my neck just doesn't feel good. I baby my thyroid. I always make sure that, you know, it knows that it's well loved. But cracking and peeling nails could be a sign of thyroid issues, as well as yellow nails or fungus or smoking, for God's sakes. Don't do that. I mean, anybody who's still smoking, let's get that fixed. That needs to go for 2021. And psoriasis, blue nails mean not enough oxygen. My mother had blue nails. She had COPD, so she had blue nails. Pale nails could be liver, could be congestive heart failure. It could be all kinds of things. But what we need to basically look at is the overall health of our nails and the overall health of our skin and the overall health of anything. Remember something, your nails and your skin and your hair, you know, in 30 days, you're getting new stuff. You know, you're gonna get, I've shown you all this growth that I've had. This is my beauty support growth. All this stuff that has filled in, although you can't, it looks like almost, you can hardly see it, but all of this is gray, but you know, at least it's filled in. It used to be just completely empty. That's beauty support. And it also has helped my nails. My nails have healed from all those years of wearing those horrible nails. And you know, this is how we correct all these things. Collagen, beauty support, taking all your vitamins. If you're taking the Immunity High Five, that's going to help you on all of these levels as well, plus your collagen. Super important, bone broth, all of it. And get the sugar out. Oh, and you know the moon thing, the little moons? Well, the missing moons, you're going to likely miss them on your pinkies. You might have a little bit on your ring finger, but as you go, you want to have about a third or a fourth of your finger with the moon, like on your thumb or whatever. You don't want to have a big red line around it. That means that you have some kind of heart issues. And you want to make sure that if your moons were here and now all of a sudden they're missing, That could be depression, and it could also be a vitamin B deficiency. Isn't that weird? I feel like we're like, you know, we went to go see the psychic, and we're doing a card reading or a tea leaf reading. It's just like, let me see your nails. It's kind of crazy. All right, here's my girl Jerry. She said, I recently started taking hot milk mix. My question to you is, do you mix it with warm water or cold? And can you mix it in the morning to drink later in the day? Also, because of fibromyalgia, I can split it up and drink it like this 2 different times. Yes, you may. You certainly can. And I know that that's really going to help you feel good. What hot milk mix does, this is our hot milk mix, and it's an electrolyte blend. And in it has a little MCT oil in it as well, and which helps to kind of put the whole thing on steroids. This helps to hydrate you on a cellular level. And not only that, but it helps us to feel good. You know, we get out of whack, and just water isn't enough. And we also have this notion, which is a myth, that only athletes who are out there just spilling their guts on the racetrack are the ones that need electrolytes. Not true. Not true. But we don't need to be getting them from crappy sources like Gatorade and all of that stuff. But an electrolyte mix helps to balance things out and helps to hydrate on the cellular level, and it's going to make you feel good. So yes, you can do it with warm water or with cool water. What I do, mine guys kind of also always kind of gathers on the bottom, and I just let it do that. I put a scoop in a whole glass of water, and then I just let it fall to the bottom. And then later, at the end of the day, when this is gone, I will put some sparkling water over the top, and it's a delicious, effervescent drink. But the hot water thing, I had not even thought of it, but what a nice thing. I would almost add an extra squeeze of lemon into that and just really enjoy that as a nice hot drink. Good idea. But yes, enjoy it, and I think it'll become a regular ritual for you, Jerry, and I think you'll find that it makes you really feel good. I love that stuff. I think it's one of the most wonderful things that we have. This is from LJ. LJ says, hey, that's Southern for hi. I know that. Hi. Hey. What is dry brushing, and why do you do it? Good question. Okay, so dry brushing is an interesting thing. And I have a new philosophy because of dry brushing. And that is that if we stimulate our bodies are saying, oh, okay, so I'm not going to be stagnant. And that is the whole thing with dry brushing, by the way, is dry brushing helps to stimulate the lymph. You have lymph all throughout your body, and it stimulates the lymph. It also stimulates the skin. And it says, oh, okay, so it's like everything is exercising. You're supposed to take like a boar's brush, and they're soft. They're not, don't think of, stuff that like, granny down at the granny down at the creek, scrubbing clothes with a boar's brush. It's not like that at all. Believe me, your skin will be intact afterwards. But you just take this boar's brush thing and you just brush toward your heart and brush toward your heart, brush up toward your heart, brush, brush. I wouldn't do your face. I would go neck all the way down and just brush and then take a shower. You're going to get rid of dry skin. You're also going to stimulate your lymph, and it's going to feel really good. It really does feel good. And then just spend a little extra time on your feet and your heels, and you'll have nice soft skin as well. Dry brushing also helps with autophagy. If you are one of these people who are saying, yeah, I've got a lot of weight to lose, I'm trying to do all this stuff, then, again, back to that whole thing of autophagy, the dry brushing is going to aid in stimulating the skin and helping your skin to say, hey, there's stuff going on here. This is good stuff. So I strongly recommend it. It is a good, healthy practice. Along with, you could do some dry brushing, and I've done this before in a sauna. That works really well. And then taking a nice cool shower afterwards and tightening everything up, and you will just feel like $1,000,000. Honestly, it feels really good. All right, Veronica said, I made one of your recipes this morning, which called for pork shoulder cut into cubes. It took me a half an hour with the knives I have. I know what that means. Not going to the stores right now. How do you find good knives online? Well, Amazon's a good place to go. I'm a real stickler on knives. I like Henkel's, and that's a German brand. You're going to pay a little bit more, but you'll have them for a lifetime. And you know, also understanding and knowing what kind of knives to use for this. So you're going to want to use, like, when you start taking a pork shoulder and cutting it up, you've got this big blob of meat, right? You just start with a bigger knife. I would use a long French knife and just cut that thing in half, cut it again in quarters, and then maybe get down to the smaller knives. So you've got the carving knives there. You've got a longer carving knife and a shorter carving knife. You've got the paring knife. Don't use a paring knife for anything except paring. Use great big knives. Use great big sharp knives, because great big sharp knives are going to get the job done, and it's not going to take you a half an hour to get it cut up. Yeah, I'm glad you see this as being, Veronica, as being an issue, because bad knives are just, they're dangerous. They don't work really well, and the reason why they're dangerous is because they're dull, and they're not, you know, they might be wiggly, then it might not be stable, and they could, you know, you could be trying to cut it and then go like this and then cut yourself, and it's a big disaster. So having good tools, I mean, we're carpenters in our kitchen, aren't we? We're building something. We're building a meal. We need good tools, just like a carpenter needs good tools to do your kitchen cabinets. Just keep thinking in those terms. When we're cooking a lot, and I hope most of you are mostly cooking at home, because this is where we're going to get our good health from the good food that we're eating and preparing. This is one of the most important things. So take a look at Henkel's. Look online, look on Amazon, and I think, you know, there's a lot of people also extending out their Cyber Monday sales. So I don't know if there's some other ones there. But if you go to some place like Williams or Sonoma and all of that, you can see a good lineup of good knives. And then, sorry, Williams and Sonoma, even though I did work with them on a blog post a while back, don't buy them there. They're going to be really expensive. So Amazon is, I hate to say it, but it is best. How do I know, this is also from Veronica, how do I know when pork chops are done? Thick cut boneless ones sometimes have a slight pink tinge on some parts when I cook them according to your instructions, so I remove them, then put them back in the sauce for a while. Good move. Am I overcooking them? No, you're not. I use Butcher Box, and their chops are very thick. Yes, they are. And having a little pink on a Butcher Box chop, I would do that. Not a grocery store chop, but a Butcher Box chop, I would do that. And I do that all the time. One of the things that you can do to save yourself, and remember this, when we are searing off like a piece of meat or a pork chop or even chicken or whatever, we want it to be hot and fast, especially something that's lean like this, hot and fast. And the reason why is if we cook and if we slow cook it, you know, like slow and all of that, the slower we go, the leaner it is, the tougher it's going to be. Very few things that aren't like that, like round steak, for example, or rump roast, which you're going to make a pot roast out of. That's a different thing entirely. But for this, that is absolutely the case. You know, that overcooking something can be quite an issue. You're not going to do that with these chops. Do them fast. It's okay if they're pink, and then just put them in to simmer a little bit in the sauce, and you'll have the perfect chop. Good job, by the way. All right, Marty. Marty, you've been busy. Marty says, I love the hot milk mix. It tastes great. How many hot milk mixed drinks can you have in a day? You can have 2 or 3 if you want to. I have 2 usually. Sometimes I'll just go with 1, and every once in a while, if I'm just like extreme, I have found this too, by the way, it helps with being exhausted after a workout. It's just a perk up. It's like having a cup of coffee almost. And I think that's just because we're depleted at that point. So it will make a big difference for you, for sure. Have it as you like it, and watch how you feel, because I bet you're going to feel so much better. And there you go. We got through 9 questions, and I appreciate all of them. They were wasn't that fun? I always love our Q&As. So if you have a question for me, and especially if I saw a few people going by with some questions, additional questions, do send them in. I can't watch the feed and do this at the same time. So do send them in to support@savingdinner.com, and question for Leanne on Friday in the subject line will help us to get those questions into the queue so that they can get answered for the next time around, which is next Friday. In the meantime, don't forget about our gift certificates, savingdinner.com/gift. Who doesn't want the gift of dinner for that? What a great present, right? Or some supplements. Just go check it out, savingdinner.com/gift. And don't forget, we sprint on Monday. Who's with me? Who is going to go in? I want some pinkies. Let's get some pinkies up. Let's crush the sprint. I am full on in. Full on in. Are you going to do it with me? Let's do it. savingdinner.com/sprint to get all the goodies that you'll need so that you can get ready for this. Watch the webinar. It's going to help you to crush this sprint. And it's going to be a blast. I am looking forward to it. It's the last one of the year. Let's really go in and go hard. Amen? Pinkies up. Thanks, ladies, for joining me. I will see you tomorrow for Soulful Saturday. Peace be with you.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.